Against that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike? Is that off the table?
It's on it. There's been talks. There's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win. Just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win. Both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
I think so.
Prime for prime?
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
This is his generation, his timeline. He is the king right now.
Floyd Mayweather has finally broken his silence on his highly anticipated comeback set for 2026. He confirmed that his first appearance will actually be this year, stepping into the ring with the legendary Mike Tyson. However, Mayweather was quick to stress that this clash will only be an exhibition. What really shocked fans was his next revelation. After Tyson, he is already eyeing a legitimate professional showdown. He admitted that serious talks are underway for a sanctioned fight with Terence Crawford, insisting his entire team is pushing hard to make it official.
Everything is going great. You know, I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
When boxing fans dive into dream fight debates, one figure always dominates the conversation: Floyd Mayweather. Even in retirement, his legacy overshadows the sport, sparking endless arguments about how he would fare against today's champions. Recently, trainer Robert Garcia delivered a grounded perspective on the fantasy clash between Mayweather and Terence Crawford. Garcia acknowledged Mayweather's flawless career and undeniable achievements but pointed out something significant. Floyd never captured the status of undisputed champion, a milestone both Crawford and Manny Pacquiao reached. That gap, Garcia argued, cannot be ignored when comparing legacies. Yet despite this critique, Garcia's admiration for Mayweather's technical brilliance and unmatched aura ultimately sways him to believe that if the fight ever happened, Floyd might still edge out Crawford.
Man, he doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed. Is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more than Pacquiao was 8 divisions. So we have to, we could argue there because Pacquiao was 8 divisions is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5-division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Robert Garcia made it clear that Terence Crawford has achieved milestones even Floyd Mayweather never touched. Crawford unified every major belt in a division, something Mayweather never did. Manny Pacquiao also etched his name in history by conquering multiple weight classes with undisputed recognition. Garcia explained that this is the one area where Floyd's resume feels incomplete. Yes, Mayweather retired undefeated, dominated elite opponents, and built an untouchable legacy, but undisputed status always escaped him. Still, Garcia stressed this doesn't erase Floyd's greatness. It only shows why Crawford deserves recognition as one of boxing's most complete champions. Yet when pressed on who would win a fantasy clash, Garcia leaned on his first-hand knowledge of the sport. In his eyes, Floyd's defense, ring IQ, and impeccable timing stood on an entirely different level.
I'd probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win. Just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win. Both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
I think so.
Prime for prime? Yes.
But Crawford, one of the greatest of all time, 100%. There definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. You know, fucking that's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. You know, all these new things going on. I think it's going to be a positive thing for all the younger fighters.
Addo highlighted that Floyd Mayweather's legacy cannot be defined by a single persona. There are 2 versions of him, both equally legendary. First came Pretty Boy Floyd, the fearless young warrior who overwhelmed opponents with blistering speed, relentless aggression, and crisp combinations. This version of Floyd took risks, chased knockouts, and earned respect as a dangerous technician who was willing to stand toe-to-toe with anyone. Then emerged Money Mayweather, the shrewd businessman and defensive master who transformed himself into boxing's biggest global attraction. Olau described Floyd as a genius, not only in the ring but also in shaping his brand, ensuring that both identities carried unmatched influence. Pretty Boy electrified fans with fireworks, while Money Mayweather mesmerized audiences with strategy, technical brilliance, and the ability to turn fights into global events. Together, these dual personas cemented Mayweather as more than a fighter. He became the architect of boxing's modern business empire.
Sorry. He's a genius. He is fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s, and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking. I watch the whole fucking episodes, and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then. And I get it. I get it. All right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion, multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm going to work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm going to work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, this guy's in this fight, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right? In terms of fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fights, you know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd was like, Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit offensively.
Zab Judah, a former opponent of Floyd Mayweather, didn't hesitate when asked who stands atop boxing today. He crowned Terence Crawford as the king of this generation. Judah explained that every era produces its defining star, and right now, Crawford holds that honor. He even recalled Canelo Alvarez once suggesting that Crawford might be better than Floyd, stressing that such a statement carries real weight. In Judah's eyes, Crawford has already proven his greatness by conquering elite competition across multiple divisions, showcasing a style so complete that no fighter has managed to crack it. While Judah paid full respect to Mayweather's unparalleled legacy, he emphasized that the present moment undeniably belongs to Crawford. For him, comparisons between fighters of different eras are inevitable, but what matters most is celebrating greatness in its time. And today, Judah firmly believes that Crawford deserves recognition as boxing's #1 fighter.
All right, number one, this is his generation, his timeline. He's the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not right. He fought him. He should know. I can fight still. Somebody that fought both these guys, he knows. Anybody who knows, what's up.
What do you think's next for both? You'd like to see a rematch?
Rematch always sound good. But in a rematch, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Breadman Edwards offered a completely different perspective on the ongoing debate, firmly dismissing the idea of Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford. For him, such a fantasy matchup feels forced and unnecessary. Edwards argued that Crawford has earned the right to fully enjoy his current success without constantly being dragged into comparisons with legends of the past. He pointed out that if Floyd truly wanted to return for a crossover spectacle, a matchup with Roy Jones Jr. would make far more sense, simply because of the historic names involved and the global intrigue it would spark. In Edwards's view, Crawford is in his absolute prime and should be recognized for what he is achieving now, not overshadowed by hypothetical debates. He emphasized that constantly pitting him against Mayweather undermines Crawford's current moment and distracts from the historical weight of his accomplishments. For Edwards, boxing should stop chasing impossible dream fights and instead allow Crawford to stand as the undisputed symbol of greatness in his own era.
See, never gonna get this fight, fortunately. Just two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win. But if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as a 50-50? I don't know. Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
Man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, they're competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd will be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight. People is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. It's things Floyd do better, it's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, like make up something just to. I got my opinion on, how the fights would go, and, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they're taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. Unfortunately, they didn't fight. They could have made, they kind of two different eras, though. Even though they was fighting at the same time, Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC. Buzz a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So it didn't happen, and we got to just live with it. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter didn't hold back when reacting to the shocking news of Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson, calling it less of a boxing event and more of a street fight waiting to happen. He explained that the long-standing resentment between Floyd and Mike could make the matchup deeply personal, raising concerns about whether it would even receive official sanctioning. Porter argued that while the spectacle might grab attention, it could also cross lines the sport of boxing should never cross. His skepticism was echoed by other analysts who criticized the trend of exhibitions, pointing out that fans never truly embraced the circus-like bouts involving Jake Paul or other retired icons. To them, this constant reliance on nostalgia highlights a troubling truth, that today's stars struggle to capture mainstream attention without the shadows of legends. Joe Rogan added fuel to the conversation, reminding everyone that Floyd and Mike have never liked each other, and that kind of animosity could change everything. He speculated that Floyd, known for his defense and caution, might actually pursue a knockout just to prove a point. Meanwhile, Ariel Helwani provided a reality check, saying that insiders view the event as nothing more than an exhibition built for entertainment and money. More importantly, he suggested it might serve as a warm-up for a far more serious return, Floyd Mayweather stepping back into sanctioned competition against Terence Crawford. By framing the Tyson bout as a sideshow, Helwani shifted focus back to what could be one of the biggest professional comebacks in boxing history. Whether this bizarre clash with Tyson ever materializes or not, one thing is clear. The sport stands at a crossroads, torn between spectacle and authentic greatness. And with Floyd Mayweather's name once again in headlines, the world waits to see if he will truly risk his legacy for one last defining chapter. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, share, and like the video so we can keep bringing you the most explosive stories from the world of boxing. Your support fuels the fight. Don't miss what's coming next.